Ilia Malinin just confessed a truth every Olympian carries but never speaks. And he didn't just say it once. His words became a haunting refrain throughout the Milano Olympics before his unraveling, during the fall, and in the aftermath. We witnessed a live chronicle of Olympic pressure shattering a champion, watching him transform from the pinnacle of confidence to a portrait of devastation. What he brought into the light forever alters our perception of these godlike athletes. The saga began quietly during the team event on Saturday, February 8th, when a stumble on a triple axel in the short program left him second to Japan's Yuma Kagiyama. In the media zone that followed, the first crack in the armor appeared. "I did not think it would be that heavy," he admitted to the press. "The Olympic atmosphere is crazy. I definitely underestimated it." This from the quad god, a man unbeaten since 2023. To hear him admit he misjudged anything was the first chilling omen. The warning shots had been fired. By Wednesday, February 11th, just before his individual event, his behavior turned strange. He abandoned his final practice session at the main rink. His explanation was startling. He simply wanted to remain in bed rather than endure another run-through. He was desperately seeking refuge from a force he couldn't see, a storm of pressure that was closing in. Yet, when the lights came on, he somehow fought back. He carved out a 5-point advantage over Kagiyama in the short program. It seemed the crisis was averted, that the quad god had wrestled back command. He hadn't. On Friday night, February 13th, during the free skate, just moments before stepping onto the ice, he narrated his own inner collapse. As he moved to his opening pose, he said a tidal wave of experiences, memories, and pressure crashed over him, feeling utterly suffocating. In that crucial moment, he confessed he had no idea how to fight it. This wasn't a reflection made in hindsight. This was an athlete narrating his own mental disintegration while trying to perform. Then came the performance itself, a physical manifestation of his inner chaos. He popped his signature quad axel, the jump only he could execute, and it became a simple single. He hit the ice twice. Jumps planned as quads devolved into doubles. His free skate score was a dismal 156.33, putting him in 15th place among 24 skaters. His final score settled at 264.49. He had plummeted to 8th place overall. The 5-point cushion had vanished. The gold medal had vaporized. Ma Shidorov of Kazakhstan claimed victory, with Japan securing both silver and bronze. The quad god had fallen to earth. But in the ruins, he refused to hide. He spoke his truth, raw and unfiltered. "I blew it," he said without hesitation. Then, he took everyone deeper into the abyss. "The nerves were so overwhelming. All the traumatic moments of my life started flooding my head. My legs felt like stone. I couldn't take a deep breath. I thought I could treat it like any other competition, but I was wrong." This was far more than a single quote from a defeated athlete. This was the blueprint of a psyche under siege. In week 1, he conceded that he had misjudged the pressure. By week 2, he was skipping practice just to breathe under its immense weight. On the night of the final, he was completely submerged, unable to cope. Afterward, he described his mental implosion with a brutal, chilling honesty. We had just watched an Olympian document his own psychological freefall in real time from the most unforgiving stage on the planet. Nothing like it had ever been seen. But the breakdown itself is not the heart of this story. His searing honesty about the times for it, that is the true narrative. So, what is this monstrous pressure truly doing to these athletes? And why does his candor matter so profoundly? Let's dissect what those symptoms truly represent. His brain was unleashing his most traumatic memories, while his body was tasked with performing superhuman feats of athleticism. That isn't just nerves. That is a full-blown trauma response, happening live for the world to see. He described legs turning to stone and an inability to breathe. These are textbook manifestations of severe anxiety and panic. His own physiology was turning against him. When he spoke of feeling a complete loss of control, he was describing dissociation, the mind detaching from the body as a desperate act of self-preservation. Only it wasn't preserving him. It was systematically dismantling his capacity to compete. This is the true face of Olympic pressure. It is not just stress. It is not just jitters. It is a profound psychological crisis erupting while you stand before 10,000 spectators, with the entire world watching, and the culmination of your life's work hanging on the next 4 minutes. And here's the thing. Ilia is not the first elite athlete to walk through this fire, but he is one of the only ones to describe the inferno while being burned by it. Simone Biles, at the Tokyo 2021 Games, withdrew after being struck by the twisties. a terrifying mental block where a gymnast's mind loses its connection to their body in midair. She chose her well-being over a medal. Though she endured criticism, her courage fundamentally changed the conversation. Michaela Schifrin, the alpine skiing favorite at Beijing 2022, suffered a similar fate. A did not finish in the slalom, was followed by another in the giant slalom. She sat, defeated, in the snow, and admitted she had never faced such a moment and was utterly lost. It was the same pressure, the same collapse. Then you have Michael Phelps, the owner of 23 Olympic gold medals, who has spoken with raw honesty about his struggles with depression and suicidal thoughts. Even the most decorated Olympian in human history was nearly broken by the crushing weight of it all. The pattern is tragically clear. Even the world's most elite competitors can shatter beneath the immense weight of the Olympics. The difference is, the vast majority of them break in total silence. And this is the brutal reason why. An athlete is expected to be a fortress of mental fortitude, to embody a warrior's spirit, where excuses are forbidden and weakness is never shown. Corporate sponsors demand a champion, fans crave absolute supremacy, and the media hunts for a triumphant narrative. So the athletes bury their struggles until the pressure triggers a devastating collapse. Ilia, however, emerges as one of the very few who dares to speak this unspoken truth. Here is precisely why his candor matters infinitely more than his 8th place result. We are drawn to the Olympics to witness feats that border on the superhuman. We crave quad axels that defy the laws of physics, impossible records shattered, and flawless perfection under the world's most intense spotlight. But what Ilia's confession reveals lies beneath that veneer. These icons are not gods. They are mortals attempting to achieve the divine while bearing an almost inhuman burden of expectation. The moment he confessed, "I didn't know how to handle it," he gave every other competitor unspoken permission to acknowledge the very same thing. When he recounted how traumatic memories came flooding back into his mind, he normalized a silent battle that thousands of other athletes fight in secret. When he articulated how his body began to shut down, he thrust the topic of mental health into the Olympic conversation with an impact that could no longer be ignored. That single act of honesty holds more weight than any quad axel he could have possibly landed, and now the entire conversation is beginning to change. Simone Biles ignited this movement in Tokyo, making it acceptable to talk about mental health, and Ilia is now carrying that torch forward at the Winter Games, but from an entirely new direction. He did not step away. He stepped up, tried, and came up short in front of the entire world, and both paths are equally valid and profoundly honest, inspiring more athletes to find their voice. The resources are slowly increasing, and the understanding is beginning to grow, but a long road still lies ahead because our culture continues to idolize flawlessness and domination above all else. After Ilia's 8th place finish was confirmed, he didn't shrink away in shame. He skated directly toward Mikhail Shidorov, the 21-year-old from Kazakhstan, celebrating his nation's first ever gold medal in men's figure skating, and offered his heartfelt congratulations. "You deserve it," he told him, with no bitterness and no excuses, only pure grace. In what was surely the most crushing moment of his athletic career, he then faced the media and gave them the unvarnished truth, admitting he was still trying to process it all. He confessed that the outcome was now permanent, as much as he wished he could rewrite that moment in time. It was utter transparency, with zero attempt to cushion the blow of his devastation, and while his team gold means he will leave an Olympic champion, it wasn't the individual glory or the career-defining moment he had envisioned. An 8th place finish was never in his script, but he is only 21 years old. The 2026 Milano Games are on the horizon, and 2030 is just 4 years after that, offering another chance for his story to unfold. He now intimately understands the crushing force of Olympic pressure and will never underestimate it again. Next time, he will train his mind just as intensely as he trains his body. The pressure of the Olympics can break the very best, not because they are deficient in strength, but because they are profoundly human. With brutal honesty, Ilia chronicled his own breaking point in real time, and perhaps that powerful revelation will be his true Olympic legacy. Maybe that is worth more than any gold medal. Have you ever been under so much pressure that your body began to fail, your mind couldn't keep up, and everything simply fell apart? Share your own story with us in the comments below. Subscribe to our channel to ensure you never miss the latest breaking news from the Olympics.